Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Oseharu, and welcome to another exciting edition of Ask An Aquarius. Okay, so I got a question from a young man who told me that he is a witch. He's a new witch, though. He's brand new, just learning. And he wanted to know if I had any advice for fledgling witches, shamans, priestesses, people who are in the magical arts or the energy arts and the manifestation game, as we call it. And I do. Of course I do. I teach classes. I teach classes. I teach people how to do magic. I teach priestesses. This is what I do. So I came up with a small list of 10 things, because this list could have been 100 things. But I came up with a small list of the most important things that a new fledgling magic worker needs to know. Okay? So let's start with the first one. First and foremost, when you come into the pagan umbrella, the Pagan Pantheon, as I'll call it, you're coming into many different traditions. You're coming into many different traditions. You're coming into many different schools of thought. You're coming into Yoruba. You're coming into Santeria. You're coming into Wicca. You're coming into shamanism from the Native American traditions, medicine men, medicine women from the Native American traditions. You're coming into different traditions from different cultures, from different time periods. So different people are going to have different ways and different rules and different things that they do, different creeds they go by, different things. Everybody's a little bit different. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to tell you before I even get to the list is that you're going to come across a lot of different people with a lot of different ideas, a lot of different views. And I mean, like, so many. I've had these conversations online with people about magic and spirituality and things like that. And so many people have so many different ideas. And what you have to do is you have to be discerning. You have to listen to what people have to say if you choose to. And you have to figure out what works for you. Okay? So the path that you take, there's so many different spokes on this wheel. You have to figure out which path you want to take. And then some people are eclectic, so they don't take one particular path. Like, I'm a priestess of Mayat, but I know people who are what they call an eclectic witch. An eclectic witch just takes spiritual pieces for whatever they want and makes it into like a gumbo of their own doing, you know? Everybody does this a little bit differently. I'm a traditional priestess of Mayat, but I also work with spirits and other things outside of Mayat, such as Ganesha or Kuan Yin, you know, energies that aren't in the ancient Comitian pantheon, the Kemetic pantheon, but they're spiritual in nature. You know, I've picked up tarot. Tarot isn't necessarily in Egypt. You know, they use divination. Everybody uses some form of divination, but this particular way that it's done is more like a hodgepodge of different divination, you know, ways, you know. So you're going to come across a lot of different schools of thought and a lot of different things. So the first thing is that. Now, some of these things are going to be positive. Some of these things are going to be negative. Some of these things are going to be kind of neutral. That's why I said you really need to discern between who you listen to and who you don't listen to. You cannot listen to everybody. Everybody is not going to give you good advice. And some people are into stuff that they really shouldn't even be into. And some people are just talking. They're not even really doing magic. They just talking, you know. I've come across a lot of those. A lot of people who will tell you up and down what you should and shouldn't do, but can't even do candle magic. So be very aware of that coming in first and foremost. Now I'll get to the list of 10. Number 1, you should study for at least a year and a day. You should study everything that interests you. You should read books. You should look at different websites. You should learn about crystals. You should study. When I have a priestess, when I'm training somebody, I make them study for 2.5 years before I do their initiation. And then they're free to go do whatever they're going to do. But by the time they leave from underneath me, they know about candle magic. They know about herbs. They know about oils. They know about crystals. They know about divination. They know about casting a circle. You know, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. They know about enchanting magical items. They know about building an altar. They know about cleansing spaces. They know how to do a house cleansing. They know how to get rid of spirits. They know how to do mediumship. By the time we're done, they have a whole host of things they know how to do. You should do the same thing. Read everything you can get your hands on. Okay? The Wicca tradition has the most written material. Scott Cunningham, and you guys know I'll post a couple things underneath here that would be helpful to you for a beginner. But Scott Cunningham is one of the most profound authors I've come across, and he has a lot of good stuff, you know. So read different things from different places. There's things from the Yoruba, the Ifa tradition. Read things about that. Just allow yourself to learn. Read things about hoodoo. You know, allow yourself to learn about different magical traditions. Learn about different things and really read, really study, really pay attention. And don't just listen to what people tell you. Read and research for yourself. Okay? You're going to find a lot of stuff out there. And do not initiate into any system until you've done that study. I've seen so many people hop from 1 minute they're Wiccan, next minute there's something else, next minute there's something else, you know, and they just hop from different traditions. Don't do that to yourself. Learn about them first and then pick the one that you want. Or pick to be eclectic. Pick whatever you're going to pick, but learn first. Before you do anything, before you promise anybody anything, learn first. And I always say a year and a day because in Wicca, they study for a year and a day before dedicating themselves to a goddess. And I've always liked that time frame. It's enough time to really get enough information if you're diligently seeking. Number 2, don't hurt anybody for any reason. Now, you're going to come across people who will tell you the exact opposite of my whole list. Okay? But this is what I believe as a priestess of Mayat. Do not hurt anybody with magic for any reason. Do not send damnation spells. Do not send spirits to harm people. Do not curse people. Do not hex people. Do not hurt people with your magic. Okay? I would rather see you punch somebody in the face than put a spell on them. Because the karma from what you put out is going to come back to you. And a lot of people say it comes back 3-fold, 5-fold, 10-fold. So it comes back stronger than what you put out. Now, like I said, there are people out there that are going to tell you, oh, I do spells and hexes on people all the time and I'm fine. Okay. Number 1, we don't really know if they're fine. And number 2, karma can come now and karma can come in your next life. So do not harm people like that. I don't care what they do. I don't care if they stole your dog, if they punch you in the face, if they took your money, if they, robbed your mama, kidnapped your grandmother. I don't care what they did. Do not use magic to harm them. Punch them in the face if you got to. Take them to court if it would be actually smarter. Do whatever you have to do physically and practically, but do not harm them with magic. I'm telling you, I've seen a lot of people go this route, and it takes them down a dark path. Stay away from that dark path. And the dark is going to try to tantalize you. Trust me. They're going to tell you, oh, it's nothing wrong. You have to. One of the things the dark always says is, you have to do dark in order to know light. No, you don't. You don't. It's something that they say to recruit people to do dark things. Stay away from that energy. Stay away from negativity. Stay away from hurting people. Number 3, don't tell anyone until you are comfortable. You don't tell anybody about your spiritual beliefs, except for people, of course, that you trust. But until you're comfortable, get knowledgeable about your beliefs. Because I've seen a lot of people learn a couple things, start telling everybody I'm a witch, and then go through a lot of opposition from it. It's no point in doing that to yourself. Get comfortable, get knowledgeable, then you can say whatever you want to whoever you want, whenever you want. But get comfortable first. It'll be much more encouraging for you and better for your process. Don't charge for tarot readings until you are really good. One thing that happens to new witches is we start to get into divination, start to get into tarot, using pendulums, things like that, readings basically. Do not charge people for readings until you are really good. And I know that sounds like common sense, but a lot of brand new witches and priestesses think that readings is a hustle, and it's not. It's a big responsibility. You are really, like, somebody's coming to you and trusting you to help them with really serious stuff. So when you first start to do divination, let it just be for practice. Get yourself really good, really accurate, really flowing. And then if you want to do it as a profession or something like that, you can. But in the beginning, don't do that. I've seen a lot of new witches do that, and some of their readings are awful. You know, and some of them, even though they're able to figure out the reading from just common sense, they give a lot of misinformation. It's not easy to do divination. Allow yourself time to learn it and understand it before you go that route. I've seen a lot of people online trying to use it as a financial hustle. And even though you can make money if you're really good, it's not a hustle. It's a responsibility. It's kind of like being a counselor. And people depend on what you have to say. And even though some people take it for entertainment purposes only, really they don't. So be very, very, very careful with that aspect. I've seen a lot of new witches fall into that. Buy your supplies from ethical people. You're going to need supplies. You're going to need an altar. You're going to need, some people use things. Some people use just their mind. But if you decide to use supplies, crystals, altar things, herbs, candles, things like that, try to buy them from ethical sources, ethical people. Some of us buy them from like the dollar store or places like that, and that does happen. But whenever possible, buy your supplies from ethical people and cleanse your supplies no matter where you get them from, especially if you get them from like a dollar store or a market. Make sure you cleanse your supplies with frankincense and myrrh, Palo Santo, or some kind of a cleansing agent. Don't listen to everyone. Go with your gut. I mentioned this in the very beginning. You have to go with your gut. You're going to get a lot of misinformation. I'm telling you right now. You're going to get a lot of evil people. You're going to get a lot of misinformation. You're going to get a lot of negativity. You're going to get a lot of confusion. People thinking that you're evil because you're into this. You're going to get a lot of stuff like that. Don't listen to everything everybody tells you. 90% of it is garbage. So really do your own research, because a lot of people are in paganism and don't know what the hell they're doing. I have met so many people ever since I started in 1999, and I've heard so much misinformation, so much fear, so much negativity. I've heard a lot of stuff, and I'm like, what? Like, do your own research. Don't be afraid. A lot of new witches are afraid. They're scared of ghosts. They're scared of learning. They're scared of different things. Don't be afraid. You know, have courage, have faith, and make sure you're protected with positive energy at all times. Don't be afraid. Negative energies thrive on your fear, so don't do that. Learn to use protection magic first. Before you learn anything else, learn protection. Learn how to protect yourself so that if you are in any situation, you're spiritually protected. Learn protection magic. Learn which crystals to use. I did a video on protection magic. It's very short. Learn protection magic first. That's the first thing you want to know, is how to protect yourself. Meditate. The more you meditate, the more your third eye will open. The more you'll be able to manifest. Meditate, meditate, meditate. Open all of that up. Anytime I do an initiation, anytime I do a priestess training, anytime, we always do meditation. And in priestess training, the last leg of it is all meditations. So meditate, meditate every day. You want your third eye wide open to be able to do what you're going to do. And lastly, learn the law of attraction. The law of attraction is your greatest manifestation tool, and it's going to lead you to other laws of cause and effect, other laws and things along those lines. Learn the law of attraction. Watch The Secret. Esther and Abraham Hicks is really good with law of attraction stuff. Really learn how to use it. Learn the techniques, learn how to use it, and start manifesting. Okay? Really important. So those are my techniques. Those are my tips, I should say, for a brand new witch, priestess, shaman, whatever the case is. A lot of people are going to give you a bad rap. Remember, I told you guys there was an ancient smear campaign against pagans. So a lot of people are going to think you're a devil worshiper. A lot of people are going to think that, you're evil all of a sudden, and some pagans are evil. Shit, some Christians are fucking evil, Some of everything is evil, There's bad people and good people in every pocket of the earth, okay? But when it comes to pagans, there are good pagans and there are not so good pagans. There are pagans who are somewhere in the middle. You have that with every corner of the earth. But because of the ancient smear campaign, people are automatically going to assume that you're evil. They're going to assume that you're worshiping the devil. So you're going to go through a lot of that. But if I were you, I really wouldn't let that deter me, because first of all, times are changing. People are starting to know the truth. The smear campaign can't last forever, and the truth is coming out. We're coming into the age of Aquarius, which I'm going to do a video on very soon because people keep asking me about it. We're coming into the age of Aquarius, or we're already in the age of Aquarius, depending upon who you ask, and the truth is starting to come out about a lot of stuff, a lot of illusions that we had in the age of Pisces. The truth is starting to come out now. So I wouldn't let that deter me. I would just be aware of it. People accuse me of devil worship all the time, and I'm looking at them like, are you serious? Like, to me, that doesn't even make sense, but I'm not going to go down that, bro. I'm not going to get on my soapbox with that. But the bottom line is that these are the tips that can help you as a brand new witch. And there's many, many more. So I'm going to drop some links underneath this video to help you out and go down your path. See you later.